Hello, everyone, and welcome to Training Tuesday. We're so happy that you could join us today, where we will be discussing some splicing and precast applications specifically for grout sleeve. I'm Heidi Reese, a training programs manager at Dayton Superior, and I just want to go over a couple of items before we get started. Everyone who has joined the call has joined muted, but I still want you to ask questions or to have some comments, and you can do that back and forth with me. In the Zoom application, there is a chat and a Q&A functionality in there. Use either one, and you can talk directly to me as the presenter is presenting with us. In addition, at the end, we'll have a mini question and answer session if there's anything that you want to have answered. And another reminder, we also record each and every one of these webinars and put them out on Dayton Superior's YouTube channel, as well as our daytonsuperior.com website, and just search Training Tuesday and you can get to all of the past ones we've done before. So that's exciting, huh? So moving along, this presentation is intended for training purposes only. Anything we talk about within the presentation, I want you to go out to daytonsuperior.com and get any technical specifications, safety data sheets, you name it. They're all out there for the products, and it's very important to read those before you handle any of our products. So Dayton Superior, we are the leading provider of engineered solutions for the concrete construction industry. We provide not only the precast, the splicing, but we have bridge deck and tilt up, concrete repair and restoration within our chemical line, and of course, assignments forming and shoring. So we're a one-stop shop when it comes to the products, as well as standing behind that with our training and our engineering services. If you need any of it, we are there for you. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's meet our presenter who's going to be talking about our Shakespeare topic today, to grout sleeve or not to grout sleeve, that is the question. With us today is Mr. Taylor Blankenship, who is one of our technical sales representatives within the precast segment. He is a very seasoned technical specialist, boasting over 10 years of industry experience. He's a graduate of Ohio State University and is a recognized member of the Precast Prestressed Concrete Institute. He also contributes to various professional organizations, including the chapter of International Concrete Repair Institute for, is that Minneapolis, Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah. As well as the American Concrete Institute, National Concrete Association, and of course, CRSI. He is committed to assisting our customers with their precast technical requirements, and he's here to share with the whole splicing, but mainly for the grout sleeve and some precast applications. So Taylor, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Heidi, and thank you everyone else for joining us today. I'm happy to be here. And while I'm not a philosopher by any means, I do know a bit about precast, and our grout sleeves and other splicing products are very integral to precast construction. So very happy to be here to talk a bit about that today. We're going to be going over some of our coupler options. And by the end of the presentation, I hope you'll all be a little bit more familiar with the systems that we offer, some of the common applications for them, and maybe have a better idea of which option will work best for you on your next project. So let's get into it. Do I have control? There we go. So here at Dayton, we've got quite a few options to splice rebar based on different applications. Bar lock couplers are typically used as positional couplers in new construction or in repair of existing structures where both sides of the splice are accessible. You're going to see them very commonly in vertical applications, such as a column, and these can help in reducing bar congestion. We also offer taper lock couplers, and you are going to see these as a very versatile option. They're commonly used in applications where at least one side of the splice is accessible. This could be a segmental pouring application or forming. And finally, our sleeve lock couplers, which are commonly used to connect finished concrete elements together. We do see this quite a bit in precast structures, whether you're stacking panels or placing columns, connecting to foundations, etc. So we'll get into a little bit of these today, ending on sleeve lock. We'll start here with bar lock coupler system. Our bar lock is a shear bolt rebar coupler. Each one of these couplers consists of a thick-walled tube. It has serrated grip rails on the interior to help hold the rebar in place. They also have a center stop pin. They're very easy to install using a pneumatic impact wrench. You tighten the bolts on the exterior, you can see pictured here. And once they reach the proper torque value, the heads of the bolt will shear off, letting you know that you've made your connection. No bar end preparation is necessary to complete the splice, which is a great benefit of the system. There's no threading necessary, no compatibility issues that may bring with it. As I mentioned on the previous slide, it's a great option for vertical applications where lap splicing could lead to congestion issues, or where threaded options on larger bars could add difficulty in making your splicing connection. They're also great for repair applications where bar sections need to be replaced completely, and we'll take a look at that on a slide a bit later. So in our bar lock system, you can see we have multiple series of bar locks. They come in a variety of configurations. On the top, our SCA, L, and XL series are meant to make standard splices between two pieces of rebar that are symmetrical. The SCA offers a Type 1 splice for grade 60 rebar. The L series provides a Type 2 splice for grade 60, as well as a Type 1 splice for grade 75. And our XL provides a Type 2 splice for grade 80 rebar. We also offer transitional bar lock couplers that will make a splice between two different sizes of rebar, a weldable bar lock coupler to connect bar to structural steel, and a bar lock end anchor for an embedment anchorage point. So here we have an application that is relatively typical. Let me go back. This is just a simple repair application that would utilize a bar lock coupler. You can see that the damage to the concrete here is substantial, and the bar itself may have been damaged in some way. Once the concrete and damaged rebar is removed, you can take a bar lock, remove the center stop pin on the coupler. You can slide the bar locks onto the replacement bar. And then once that bar is positioned correctly, you can then slide the couplers into place and install as you normally would. Once these are installed, you could simply form up and repair, patch, pour a new portion of concrete. So they do offer versatility there where both sides of that splice is accessible. Now we can take a quick look at our taper lock series here as our second group that we're going to be going over today. The taper lock is a taper threaded mechanical splicing system, and this offers a Type 2 splice for grades 60, 75, 80, and 100 rebar. The system is compatible with all rebar sizes from number 4 up to number 18. And we do offer machines that can be placed on site at fabricators or in precast facilities to support either a large project or if you're doing quite a bit of volume, just to handle your day-to-day splicing needs. The taper lock system has a self-aligning thread that requires no tools for install, and it needs only to be hand tight to achieve its capacity. The couplers and other accessories are a more economical option when you compare it to something like a bar lock, and this can help you save money on bridge and high-rise projects. We also offer the male threaded bars themselves, the D370s here, directly to the customer. If you really don't want to have a machine in your facility and you don't want to do that in-house, that is an option as well. So it's very accessible. If you're not familiar with taper threaded systems, I will make an additional note here. There's some other options on the market that have a taper thread that require wrench tightening and inspection of your splices. So the benefit of the taper lock only needing to be hand tight, it can save you time and labor per splice when you consider all that goes into that with the testing and wrenching. So you can not only save the time and labor, but it does add a kind of a confidence factor that each splice is meeting the designed capacity. I think that's something that sets the system apart and is a relatively important note to make. Don't give up on me now. There we go. So here we have our 2G taper lock machine. This is the machine that puts the tapered thread onto the end of the rebar. It's fully automated, can handle number 4 to number 18 rebar. And like I said, it cuts the thread onto the bar to support the system. As you can see, it's self-contained and quite safe. You can see that the machine, based on this graph, can thread rebar quite quickly. Even the larger sizes of bar, you can see that you're putting out quite a few pieces per hour when you're in uh, optimal conditions. And similar to our bar lock system, we do offer a wide variety of coupler options to support the system. There's the standard coupler that connects two bars of the same size, a transitional coupler that connects bars of different size, a form saver that you can use to attach bar to formwork for segmental pores, an end anchor for embedment anchorage. We have a positional coupler that joins two bars that cannot rotate and are held in place, as well as a weldable coupler that connects to structural steel. It's kind of a brief overview of taper lock here. Now we can kind of get into these sleeve lock grout sleeve systems. To grout sleeve or not to grout sleeve, that is the question after all.
That's right, Taylor.
So when you look at our grout lock or sleeve lock grout sleeve system, it's comprised of the grout sleeve itself. We have a specialized grout that goes into the grout sleeve to complete the connection, and we have the supporting cast of accessories that you may use depending on your application. There's some that are optional. There's some you would use in one application over the other. We'll go over a little bit of that here. Here in the bottom right, you can see that we have kind of a typical setup in a precast form where the sleeves and the grout ports are positioned before pouring the concrete. One end of that grout sleeve is attached to the internal rebar within the precast element. The other side of the grout sleeve is often attached to or through the formwork to hold the other end in place. And then your ports are now positioned to reach the surface of the concrete. So when your product is poured, you'll have access to those ports to then go in and pump your grout at a later time. So here's a cross section of our standard D410 sleeve lock grout sleeve. Similar to a bar lock, you don't need to prep your bar ends in any way. Just regular cut rebar is good to go. The center stop ensures that the rebar reaches the midpoint and has proper bar engagement. The ports are installed to allow access for the grout once that concrete is poured. And our grout sleeves use a standard 3/4 inch PVC for the ports, which is super cost effective, easily sourced, and you can cut it down, between panel sizes or column sizes very quickly and easily. This does create a type 2 splice, and it supports number 4 through number 18 rebar. This is our standard grout sleeve. Here you can see it in place in a precast facility. You can see it's intertwined within the reinforcing bar of the panel. On the right, it shows the process from start to finish for our grout sleeves. They're installed in the form, as we saw on the first slide. Ports are installed, everything is held in place, concrete is poured. Then in the second step, it is stored, transported, and gets to site. And then the final step there is once being put into final place, you have the exposed end of the grout sleeve with the grout cavity that would then fit onto your exposed rebar on site. Once it's sat, you'll pump your grout from the bottom port to the top. Once it starts exiting the top of the grout sleeve, you can then use your port caps to then cap it up for curing. Here we have our D490 sleeve lock grout. This was specially formulated to be used in our grout sleeves, and it is a non-metallic, non-corrosive, non-shrink grout that reaches high strengths relatively quickly. You mix this to a flowable consistency, and then you would pump it into the ports on the grout sleeve to complete your connection. We offer mixing and estimating guides on our website, not only just to ensure that the grout itself is mixed properly to the right consistency to avoid any issues, but the estimating guide is great for just knowing how much grout you're going to need for a particular project. It's pretty handy to use based on the number and size of your grout sleeves. It will give you a nice recommendation as to how much grout you're going to need.
Feel like we need a drum roll.
Yeah. Oh, is this the grand finale, the big
Yeah,
reveal?
brand
Okay.
new.
Okay, I'll up the excitement here. This is our D390 taper lock grout sleeve. It is new to us, and it does combine the taper lock system that we went over briefly a few minutes ago, and the typical grout sleeve, the D410 that we've had in place for years. So this combines those two systems. It brings about a kind of different mix of benefits, and it opens up some new areas where there's going to be opportunities where the prior grout sleeve may not have been a perfect fit. This is going to address some of those with its benefits and features. So you can see on the end here on the picture on the right, you have that female tapered thread that matches our standard taper lock threading system and the typical grout sleeve cavity on the other end. So since it is a new product, we'll touch on some of the features and benefits that it has. It's very versatile with its uses in precast as well as cast in place. It is made from a high strength ductile iron. We have configurations to cover all the standard rebar sizes, similar to our other grout sleeve. It does also provide a Type 2 splice for grade 60 and 80 rebar. There's an oversized grout cavity, which allows for greater tolerance and bar placement in the field. It utilizes our standard taper lock thread, so it's compatible with the same threaded bar threading machine you may have on hand. The 3/4 inch PVC port material, as we mentioned before, is economical and easily accessible. The grout cavity is very forgiving in its design, and it accounts for misalignment and reduced embedment scenarios out in the field. And it's compliant with most building codes and specifications. Compared to the D410 sleeve lock grout sleeve, the D390 reduces the amount of grout that you will need while still developing a splice with strength equal to the ultimate strength of the rebar. This helps the structural integrity between precast elements, such as column to foundation, shear wall to foundation, etc. So you're getting the same connection with less grout. The threaded option can help to hold things in place, but other than that, it connects and operates very similar to what the industry is already very familiar with. So alongside our grout sleeves, we do have a number of accessories. Based on your application, one of these may work better than the others. We'll just kind of go over them briefly here. The D487 seal plug is a plug that's used to install against your formwork on the field end of the grout sleeve itself. This is going to help prevent debris or concrete from entering the grout sleeve during the precasting process. The D491 form saver plug allows the field end of the coupler to attach to either wooden formwork or handset forms. The D491 form plug allows for easy attachment to steel forms. It has a wing nut that would then connect on the other side of your steel form to make sure things are tight and stay in place during the pouring process. The D492 3/4 inch PVC is an adaptable port material. The D493 port plugs protect from concrete and debris during the pourings process on the ports themselves. It also keeps them clean and clear during the storage and transport phase of each particular product. And after the grout is installed, they can be used to then seal off the grout sleeve while that grout cures. And our D490 high strength splicing grout on the end is used to complete this connection. So we'll zoom in here on our high strength splicing grout. This is the D490 high strength splicing grout. It's designed particularly, or in particular, to be used with our D390 taper lock grout sleeve, our new product. Similar to the standard D490, it reaches high early and ultimate compressive strengths. It's non-metallic, non-staining, and non-corrosive. This is the grout that we're releasing to be compatible with the D390 in its release. So here we'll briefly look at maybe a newer application for the D390 that is becoming more popular out in the field, and that is in cast in place situations. Here you can see in the top right, our D390 is in one of these cast in place applications. It's utilizing the D491 form saver that we talked about on the prior slide. And you can attach this form saver end directly to your wooden formwork or handset forms when you're pouring your slab. So in post-tension concrete situations, a lot of times for slabs, there will be a pour strip that would then be put in between your slabs. In post-tension slabs, you'll see some shrinkage where the concrete will want to pull away. That pour strip is normally done after the fact, weeks later, once all of that has taken place. Utilizing something like a D390, you can install that and have that rebar free floating into that next slab that you can pour adjacent. Using a bit of brown breaker to keep the slab somewhat separate, you can then come back at a later time and simply grout your grout sleeve rather than having to go through the process of pouring an entire pour strip. So it can cut quite a bit of labor forming, pouring concrete, time and effort out of that process. And here on the precast side on the bottom, you can see a little side view here where you'll be using this just similarly to you would the D410 in a normal precast application. If you're a precaster that does have access to taper lock, threaded rebar, or have a machine in your facility doing a lot of splicing work yourself, this is going to allow you to use it seamlessly with those items as well as save on your grout requirements. And then here we're just going to show a typical precast column connection. And this illustration is going to show two of the install options, post grout and pre grout. Post grout, which you can see on the bottom of the column section, just above the arrow there going into the foundation. Um, that's going to install the column over top of exposed rebar coming out of the foundation. This is a typical application where you place your element. Once everything is situated, you would then pump your grout through. Once it comes out your top port, you seal off your ports and let that grout cure. When we're talking about pre-grout installations, which you can see in this illustration at the top of the column section, you can install these on the upper portion and actually pre-fill them with the D490 grout and then simply fly in your next section, set it into place, and let it cure. So two options there. If you have some kind of restriction, let's say you're looking at a foundation connection, you can set up a simple form, pre-fill all of your grout sleeves, and simply fly that column section in to sit nicely on your foundation. So that just is kind of an idea of some of the flexibility you'll see with both of these options in applying the grout sleeves to your project. So yeah, the illustrations are always good. So yeah, two options there for that. And going through all that, I guess this is kind of where I leave you. I hope this overview just kind of gives you a better understanding of our splicing products, some of their potential uses. It was exciting to talk a little bit about the D390 taper lock grout sleeve in particular. Our original grout sleeve has been a super versatile product for many years. And honestly, with the release of this new D390 and its additional benefits, I think it's something to be excited about. So it's been my pleasure to talk to you all today. Happy to be here. And with that, I'll send it back to Heidi.
Thank you so much, Taylor. That was great. If any of you guys have any questions, please feel free to go and put them in now. You can do it in the Zoom chat functionality or the Q&A portion. As you see on the screen, we've got your typical resources. I referenced DaytonSuperior.com. For some of you who may not know, we have product pages and system pages out there, various documents, brochures, even if you want to download those and review them, application guides, evaluation reports, handbooks, especially tech data sheets, safety data sheets. And we also have product videos. I referenced the training element of it. We have Training Tuesday pages, but in addition, there are product and how-to videos out there. Just simply get onto DaytonSuperior.com and you can search for any of this stuff and find it. So if you're interested in the new or even the older D14, then you can just search for D14 and there it will come up. So most importantly, a lot of times we get the questions of, well, how do I get to the person that I need to talk to, whether it be a technical issue, challenge, or just how to understand the product. If you need additional training, we've got a QR code up there for you. But there's a map that we've created, Dayton Superior's created, that when you go to our homepage and you get contact us, you will go to this page and you can see the Dayton Superior map and you find the state that you live in and all of that contact information for who you need to contact, whether it be the tailors of the world for precast. We have splicing technical salespeople as well. All of that information is there. So if there's any questions, that's all we have. I don't see any, but I'll give you just a little bit more and let you know that if you didn't hear, we do record these, and this one will be placed on DaytonSuperior.com about 4 o'clock today. And well, I thought I saw a question and I don't. Taylor, you did such a great job that nobody has any questions.
I choose to accept that, Heidi. Thank you.
Yes, you should. All right, well, then we are done for today, and I hope you guys all join us next Tuesday. Chuck is out and about, and he is doing some training, and he is in Birmingham. You're welcome, Mr. Frank. Um, and we'll be back next Tuesday with Highlight, and Chuck will be presenting that. So until then, I leave you with a happy Tuesday. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week.